Hello Year 1, and this is week 7, English session 2. Now, in our last session, we came up with our own ideas. We were generating ideas about what the perfect Year 2 student, the perfect Year 2 learner would look like. Now, we put all of those ideas into a big cauldron ready to make our own potion. We thought about trying your best, being a good friend, being determined and respectful, being good at problem solving, thinking outside the box, not just giving up, which leads us on to perseverance, being kind and working well with other children and other adults as well. Now today we are going to write our own recipe. Now do you remember what a recipe is? What's a recipe? A recipe is like a list of instructions that tells you what to do. So we're going to be writing a list of instructions, our own recipe on how to make a good learner, a perfect learner. Now, first of all, let's have a little look at our school values. Here are our school values. These values you hear all the time at schools. They're written everywhere. You hear them in assembly and you get stickers to go onto the rainbow and the sunshine, don't you? So we have aspiration. So that means you want to do well. You want to do better. You want to learn. Responsibility. So that's being responsible for your items, looking after school equipment, looking after each other as well, showing others what to do, being respectful, remembering your manners, listening when you're supposed to be listening, but also being kind to others as well. Leadership, being a good leader, showing others how it should be done. How should you sit on the carpet? How should you be getting on with your work? Show others what an amazing learner is, leading the way. Determination, so that means not giving up. You're going to do your best. You're going to manage to succeed. You're going to complete whatever challenge you've been given. So being determined. Now, these are all amazing attributes, amazing things, amazing qualities of being a good learner. So I'm actually going to add some of these onto my cauldron. Can you get your cauldron up from the last session and have a look at your ingredients? If you're missing any of these, can you write them in your cauldron now for me? So I know I'm missing aspiration. So I'm going to write aspiration in there. Aspiring to do better, aspiring to do really well, wanting to get better, wanting to learn things. Responsibility, yeah, I don't have responsibility. I'm going to put that on here. Responsibility. It's a long word, responsibility. So looking after those whiteboard pens, making sure those lids go back on, making sure that you are reading your book each night and bringing your homework back when you're asked. Respect, yes, I've got respect already. Remembering those pleases and thank yous, listening when you're supposed to, understanding that other people will have a different opinion and that's okay. Leadership. Oh, I don't have leadership. Let me pop that down here. Leadership. Oh dear, spelt it wrong. Leadership. There we go. Leadership and determination. Oh, I've got determination up here. So I've already had determination and being respectful, but I hadn't included responsibility, aspiration, and leadership. Shall we have a look now at a perfect teacher recipe? Now, if you have a little look at my sheet here, if you've got your handout, I want you to have it ready so that you can read along. But if you don't have the handout, here is the recipe. So the perfect teacher recipe, here goes. Now let's have a read through, and as we're reading, see if you can see all those qualities of a recipe that we talked about before. Does it tell you what you need? Does it tell you what to do with those things? Does it give you details as well? Let's have a read, shall we? Add a large dollop of determination and perseverance for good measure. Sprinkle a good sense of humour to keep the children giggling. Add a generous pinch of a caring nature for grazed knees and sore tummies. Pour in 4 cups of patience and mix thoroughly. So that is a really good recipe, isn't it, for a perfect teacher? It would create a teacher who's determined and doesn't give up, who has a good sense of humour to make sure the children are giggling and enjoying themselves. It would have a teacher that has a caring nature, who will look after children who have grazed knees and sore tummies or any problems. And a patient teacher as well. Okay, now there's lots of things I like about this recipe, but one of the things I really like about the recipe are the openers, the beginnings of the sentences. So, in a moment, if you've got the handout, you're going to pause the video, and on your handout you've got this box here. Can you see the door? It says My Sentence Opener Word Bank. So now's your chance to have another look through the recipe and write down any sentence openers you might like to use. So write them on the line, so that when you start to write your recipe, you'll have some ideas ready to pinch. Okay, so you ready to pause the video now? All right. So let's see, what is a good opener? So, add a large dollop. That's quite good, isn't it? Add a large dollop. Yes, I don't need to put in the of determination and the rest of it, just the openers. I might want to start a sentence when I'm doing my perfect student, perfect year 2 pupil, with add a large dollop of responsibility, add a large dollop of good listening, add a large dollop of leadership. I can use any of those, can't I? So, add a large dollop. What else is there? Let's go down. Sprinkle a good sense of humour to keep the children giggling. So what was the key word there that told you what to do at the beginning? It was sprinkle, wasn't it? Sprinkle. Well done. Okay, let's go to the next one. Add a generous pinch of a caring nature for grazed knees and sore tummies. So here it said, what did it say? Add a generous pinch. That's our opener. Add a generous pinch. Oh dear, pinch. And then in the last line, pour in 4 cups of patience and mix thoroughly. So how did that instruction start? It with the word, well done, pour. So pour in. Right. So all of these are sentence openers. So I'm going to put a capital letter for sprinkle there. So all of these are ways that we could start our sentences. So let's use these, and I'm going to have to remember these because I've got to go back to the main screen now. You need to remember, add a large dollop. You could use sprinkle, add a generous pinch, pour in. So hopefully you've got these written down for when you do your writing in a moment. Right, let me see if I can pause the video and we can go to the main screen. Right, it's time to have your Love to Learn books ready because we're going to write our recipe. Okay, so I've got all of my things on my potion, my cauldron rather, and now I've got my lines ready to start. So how will I start mine? I think I'm going to start with, I liked pour in. That was one of the good sentence openers, wasn't it? What shall I pour in? So if I have a look at my cauldron, I'm going to pour in some kindness. Yes. Pour in some kindness. Now, I need to think about what makes my work shiny. So what you might like to do at the top of your Love to Learn page is decide what's going to make your work shiny. So I'm going to remember my capital letters. I'm going to remember my full stops. I'm going to remember my sentence openers that we've just managed to steal from the recipe for Perfect Teacher. And I might even put in some conjunctions. There's my little puzzle pieces. Those linking words to make my sentences slightly longer. So I've got pour in some kindness. I've got my capital letter and my full stop. I didn't need to put anything else in this sentence, so these other ones might come in a bit later. I've got pour as well as my opener. I quite liked add a pinch. So add a pinch. That's a good opener, isn't it? A pinch of what though? What about add a pinch of determination? Add a pinch of determination. Running out of room a little bit. Add a pinch of determination. Now, why do we need to be determined? When would we need determination? I could use a conjunction here to lengthen my sentence, to add in another thought. I'm going to say add a pinch of determination in case things get tricky, in case work gets tricky. Add a pinch of determination in case work gets tricky. Yes, that's a good one, isn't it? I've got my conjunction in case. I've got my opener, I've got my capital letter and my full stop, so I'm pleased with that. Right, what else could I come up with? What do you think? In fact, maybe we need to pause the video so you can have a go at writing your own recipe. Use your ideas, think about what's in your cauldron already from your last session. Think about our school values as well, what makes a good learner, and come up with your own recipe. Then you can press play to see what I put for the rest of my recipe. Okay, ready and pause. Okay. I've got pour in, that was a nice one. I've got add a pinch. What about sprinkle? But what should we sprinkle? So let's put sprinkle. Sprinkle. Let me have a look at my cauldron. Sprinkle. What could we sprinkle? Oh, should we sprinkle some creativity to come up with new ideas? How about that? Remember, creativity doesn't necessarily mean being good at drawing and art and things like that. Being creative is coming up with new ideas as well, and coming up with your own ideas. So sprinkle some creativity. Sprinkle some creativity to make your own ideas. Your own ideas. Shall we have a quick read through? Because that's important, isn't it? Sometimes we do our writing and we don't realise we've made a mistake because our brains are thinking and we start thinking about the next idea as well. It's easy to make mistakes. So let's check back through the work to make sure there are no mistakes. Once I've done mine, can you check through yours? Ready? Pour in some kindness. Right, got my opener, capital letter, my full stop. Didn't need a conjunction for that one. You don't have to have a conjunction for every single one. Add a pinch of determination. Uh-oh, have you spotted something? Add a pinch determination in case work gets tricky. Oh dear. I was writing faster than my brain was thinking, or my brain was thinking faster than my hand was moving. I'm not sure, but I've missed a word. What do we do when we've missed a word? Yes, well done. I need to put a little, it's almost like a little arrow to show what's missing. Add a pinch of, and I can write the word up in the air, a pinch of, sorry, my pen is running out. Add a pinch of determination in case work gets tricky. Lovely. Sprinkle some creativity to make your own ideas. Super. Can you think of any other openers that we could use? Maybe one that wasn't included when we were looking at the teacher one. What could we have? I'm going to go for mix, but what could we mix in? Mix. Let's see, what could I put in? Mix in some friendship, being a good friend. That's very important, isn't it, to be a good learner? You need to be kind and be a good friend as well as working hard. So let's be a good friend. So, mix in some friendship. Mix in some friendship, and it's a good conjunction. I'm going to put stir well. Stir, and I haven't got much room at the bottom here, and stir well. Full stop. I like that last one because it's got a conjunction and, which is one of our very important year 1 conjunctions, but also it's a stir well. And do you remember when we looked at the Joe Wicks blueberry and banana muffin recipe? He said things like stir well. Sometimes you might give it a quick stir, but if you're stirring well, you're making sure everything is mixed properly and thoroughly. So pour in some kindness, add a pinch of determination in case work gets tricky, sprinkle some creativity to make your own ideas, mix in some friendship and stir well. Now I've not finished because I really want to put something in about trying your best. I really want to put something in about persevering. I really want to put something in about being a good listener as well, but I've run out of board. Luckily, you've got your Love to Learn books, so you can write plenty of sentences. Don't worry about writing too many. Just make sure you've got some of your own that you can send your teacher. Thank you for doing the English videos. This was the last one. So there was just some maths videos left if you haven't already done those. But this was the last English activity. I've been loved doing English with you guys, and I'll see you for the next videos for maths. And then that will be the summer holidays. See you for now. Bye.